we definitely encountered some of the kind of general tech market weakness that we've seen in the last week or so. And I think you hit, though, on an important point, which is what I learned across the roadshow is that people don't know us very well and don't really understand the story. And so I was spending a lot of time helping people get to understand what Sonos really is, because you see the hardware and people naturally see the hardware, but they don't understand that more than half of our team is actually software. And it's the software, as you guys know from the experience, the software is what really makes the magic happen. And we are the most unconventional hardware company you've met because we have 93% of the products we've shipped over those 14 years are still active today. We build long-lasting products, and people buy more of them over time. They add more, just like you're doing now, as opposed to people that are actually trying to get you to move to the next one.
Okay, but let me ask you this. The company lost a net loss of $14.2 million on a revenue of nearly $1 billion. Yep. When you think about that, what will be the turning point?
Yeah, so we're kind of into phase 2 now. So through the first phase, like the last decade, basically, we really were taking on the home audio market and some of the traditional players in that space. Really now what we're doing is riding the wave of streaming. So this rise of Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music has been fantastic for us. Over the last 6 months, we've added 1 million households in the fastest time yet. And there's 176 million people around the world paying for streaming music now, paying $120 a year for streaming music. You can get started with Sonos for $149. Attaching to this is the next wave.
Okay, but speak to the competition, because for so long you were the only high-end player. Now you have Apple trying to get in there. Amazon is in there with Alexa, maybe not at the same kind of high-end, but unless you're an audiophile, some people don't always appreciate the distinction. You have Google.
So all partners of ours as well, right? So for the last decade, we've put all those services, you can get all those streaming services from Google, Apple, Amazon, all on Sonos. Now you could also get Alexa on Sonos. And so really Sonos is the one that is building long-lasting hardware that looks and sounds great and gives you all the services you want. All of those players have a different strategic intent. They're trying to push their services on consumers, and we work with all of them, so they're great partners. But we co-opt all of those services, and we're the ones closest to the consumer in terms of opening an open platform that people can, that gets better over time.
Is that your USP today, that you're open to all the new tech services?
Simple,
because originally
open,
it was that you could link all your speakers across a house, which was very new 10, 12 years ago. But today it's that open platform aspect.
We invented that, what's called multi-room home audio, and we have the patents to prove it. So the IEEE last year said we have the second most powerful patent portfolio in consumer electronics, next only to Apple. So we invented that, and it is what everybody loves about the system. You can play music in one room or multiple rooms, as you guys know. And so that is a key part of the value proposition. But what it really is you can simply play any music service, get any voice service on Sonos. It looks and sounds great anywhere in your house.
Patrick, we use it too, and I do love it. One question though, you mentioned all these partnerships you have with Apple, with Amazon and the like. Is there any threat that they might pull back from that partnership if they're trying to do their own thing?
It's interesting. Obviously, I work very closely with all those companies. They have been very eager. We have great relationships. We've worked with them for a decade. They put all their streaming services. Nobody thought we could put all the competitive streaming services on one platform. Right. We have Amazon Alexa on the platform today. We have Google Assistant coming later this year. I see no reason that those partners won't continue to want to put their services on really the best multi-room.
So there's nothing in the filing?
No. Well, in the filing, we've just been very upfront about the fact that, look, we could turn off, people's services, they could turn them off. We're transparent by nature, so that's in there.
Can you speak to this? There was a report in the Information, I don't know if you remember this report, that suggested that given your patent portfolio, that actually you were able to pressure, dare I say, the Googles of the world and others to participate in a way that they may not have before.
Having the second strongest patent portfolio in consumer electronics does give you a stick if anybody tries to do anything that would be unfriendly.
Just want to come back to the profitability aspect.
Yeah, sure.
14 years old, still making a loss, or have done for the last 3 or 4 years anyway. You said that the profitability comes by riding the wave of streaming music services, but we've just seen the likes of Pandora and Spotify report, and they're making a loss themselves. So how does that particular trend deliver to the bottom line when?
It's a very different business model, right? So for us, we build this hardware, and what happens, and this is different than anybody else in consumer electronics, is that they use the system for a long time and they add more. So last year, 38% of our sales came from existing customers coming back and adding another Sonos, not replacing it, adding it. And so we know that people will buy more over time. We have a recurring revenue stream. We just happen to monetize it through hardware, and we make 45% gross margins.
That's what I was going to ask.